It's the NFL on EA Sports, where we'll see a brawl inside the NFC North. It's the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions, and it kicks off next on Madden NFL 24.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today we've got what's always a hard-hitting battle in the NFC North, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
The punter, Jack Fox, has us ready to go, and we are underway here at Ford Field. Now Jones. Jones now on the return, and makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by the youngster, the rookie, their QB.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
They'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Looking to throw on second down. Williams. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Lee McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at third down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is third and long. Looking to throw. Williams. He's going to look deep for more. And this is caught at the 20. A huge play there for Chicago. 67 yards.
Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what. Third down. All you're thinking is, what can we do to keep this drive going to get enough yardage to move the sticks? You're certainly not thinking about taking this one almost the length of the field. But that's exactly what happens here. What a play and what a change of fortunes. Let's roll.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They will run straight ahead with Swift. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
That's a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1 yard gain. Williams to throw on second down. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on third down.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Williams. 23-yard line. Marcus Davenport, the first rounder out of UTSA with a sack.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
You know, he hated taking the loss there on third down. Santos' kick is up and through, and it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Lions now as they get set for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first overall selection of the 2016 draft. From Cal, it's Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl, and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him. The start of this game shaping up nicely on that visiting sideline.
Yeah, how about that? You get your points on the opening drive. Then you get a big sack there on third down, and you make the home crowd go.
There is a hush indeed. On fourth down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. Dante Pettis deep for Chicago. He'll take it at the 42. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Williams. A little short pass. This is Everett. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that'll bring up second down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Second down and 8. Operating from the gun, Williams. Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
He finds his target, Allen, and all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
Holding offense.
So not a lineman, but the tight end instead this time, drawing the holding call.
And more what you're getting with tight ends are guys who are much more receiver than blocker. They may be willing, but that might not be their thing. Oftentimes, they'll be the ones getting the penalties.
The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a first down coming up. Swift going to try up the middle. Brian Branch from the secondary in on the tackle.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
2nd and 15. Looking to throw. Williams. A throw left side taken in by Kmet. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there, and have that what he did after the catch.
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Williams now from the gun on 3rd down. And it's caught. And the Bears are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
One more time with Swift. Showed off the footwork, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain, but I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And they're going to get it. They bring it down and sack back at the 16-yard line. Derek Barnes drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
On is Santos for the Bears field goal. From the right hash, this from 33. Santos' kick is up and through, and they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goal is probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. They are still in search of their first points of the ball game, but only down 6-0 as they begin with a 1st down. Gone. He's got a man complete. He's to the 15. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs, 84 yards. And the Lions strike quickly here to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it, and we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. He's got it, and they take the lead at 7-6. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Now Jones. Jones now on the return. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. The Bears offense out there set and ready to go. They're kind of searching for that magic elixir. You know, they're moving the football a little bit, but not with any great consistency.
I love that term you just used, elixir, right?
Old school.
Old school. I love that because you don't want to put too much pressure on your defense as well, all right? If you're kicking field goals, that's great, but your defense has to keep going out there and holding the other team. You're not giving them any cushion to work with, and that gets tougher and tougher as the game goes along. Put the ball in the end zone and get sixes. That's the ambrosia that they're looking for.
Ambrosia, and trying to erase this deficit. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Back to throw. Williams. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Marcus Davenport. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's a handoff to Swift. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. The Lions now taking over late in this first half. And with a 1-point lead, you'd have to think they'll be looking just to get this to halftime. Goff on 1st down. And that's incomplete. Now those two down once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Back to throw, Goff. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Goff. He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
We've already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every.
And the 7-yard line, the catch is first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Value three, Ric Flair.
To the air again, Goff. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. The give, right side for Gibbs. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, as the first half is winding down. And the Lions will extend their lead here just before halftime. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play and actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead is up to 8. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And they're going to get about 3 here out of this first down run, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. So we've reached halftime here in Detroit with the Lions out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find. All right, so we skip the rest of halftime and get set for the third quarter. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side, and out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Goff. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. That one goes for 30 yards. And we know this offense has the potential to strike quickly, and they just bit off 2 huge plays on back-to-back snaps.
So on the other side of the ball, you've got to go Band of Brothers thought process. No one left behind, no pointing fingers, no accusations, because if you don't, those quick strikes we just saw, they become long-lasting.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to third down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. David Montgomery, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Lions take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
We see this a lot on third and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome, a little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
Well, they run the option on second down.
Holding offense.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center because, remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion. And sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Short completion, just 4 yards. And they're going to be staring at a third and long here. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And he is caught. A solid stiff arm.
Offside. Defense.
They knew they had the free play after the penalty. They get great yardage, so they can decline that penalty.
And one of the things we've seen develop more and more in recent years are teams seeing that penalty occur and still taking the big shot downfield and hoping to gain the yardage as we just saw there. They practice it, they work on it, and this time they're successful.
2 yards that time, a stark contrast from the big chunk on the previous play.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Now Williams looking to throw on second down. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Looking to throw. Williams. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of...
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
Partner, I think they saw something there. I mean, they came from the right side deliberately, and you know there's always a designated guy who goes and blocks it, but it's the rest of his teammates that get him free.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now it's gone. It's complete to Williams. And he is going to have the Lions first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. 3 quarters in the books. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. First down, here's the run to Montgomery. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Detroit. David Montgomery with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Lions take the blocked field goal and convert it into 6 points.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Badgley on for the extra point. He's got it, and the lead swells. It's 28-6. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was David Montgomery's touchdown run that polished it all off. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. The last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown, a field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points and take the pressure off of those guys. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Sometimes those tip balls turn out to be like a pinball, just bounce all over the place. Everyone's got to go up and get it. In this case,
we talk about tip drills for defensive players like you, but what about the offensive guys? Do they do any tip drills?
I think they work on it as well, oftentimes in the Hail Mary situations, because you're actually counting on a ball being tipped to give you an extra chance to catch it. They use that training well.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
They'll run with Gibbs. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. 44 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Gibbs is in for a Lions touchdown. He's got the hat trick. 3 touchdowns now.
Did you throw yours? Did you throw yours?
I didn't have mine. You've got yours. You've got one of those Abe Lincoln hats.
Yeah, and that stovepipe is going right out there for him. A nose for the end zone. 3rd time today. I think he deserves a tip of the cap.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. DJ Moore headed back out as the Bears take over on possession. He's north of 150 yards in this game. He's been doing his thing, hasn't he?
That he has, and he's been enjoying himself. And it's the type of game that you get locked into a pretty good groove. May not be record-shattering, but it's the type of game that if you accumulate that throughout a season, you can be one of the top receivers in the game.
See how much they incorporate him here on this drive. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Williams. And that one's going to come up a little short. It's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Moore. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The end result, 21 yards. They'll look to throw again. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. Now hang on here because DeAndre Swift injured on that last play and in need of a little assistance. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's 2nd and 6. Again, he'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Moore. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 15-yard line. Looked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Back to throw again. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And the Bears are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. Offense for them has... You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
And this is caught. Well, they get one back, picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. Obviously, the scoreboard right now is not the friend of this rookie quarterback, but, hey, a touchdown pass there maybe builds a little confidence.
Every rep is valuable when you're a rookie. Every time you step up and throw the football, there's a lesson to be learned. Yeah, he took advantage of a little bit of loose coverage there with the lead, but at the same time, got it done, and it'll take a little bit of satisfaction away from that throw.
Santos to kick off for Chicago.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he brings us out to the 24. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Another run for Gibbs here. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.